50 years ago as I began my seminary studies at Corpus Christi Glen Waverley after 3 years at Corpus Christi Werribee. We did some work with an elderly scripture scholar who walked with us in the wisdom literature, and Father Eli Phillips had a funny voice, and so I remember very clearly as he came in to talk about the books of the wisdom literature. Vanity of Vanities, all is vanity. I don't remember very much else about, no, that's not quite right, but it was a very sort of interesting introduction to the wisdom literature, and that's the first reading for our scriptures this weekend. The book of Ecclesiastes reminds us that so much of our world can get lost in this looking for resources, looking for having more and more and more. And we know that so much of, I don't say the trouble in the world, but at least much of the condition or difficulties that people face in our world today arise because of people's desire to have more and more. The gospel tells us exactly the same story. It tells us of how the man who was going to build bigger barns is suddenly left with the fact that he dies that night. And so who's going to benefit from all the work that he's done and all the things that he's done when all his focus has been on making money? This is the second week of our message series, Preparing for the Kingdom. It's reminding us that prayer is an important part, as we saw in last Sunday's readings. This Sunday, the awareness is that what we own is important. How much of it owns us is much more significant. And so we're challenged to look at how we use the resources we've got, how we use the opportunities we're given, and do they in fact have an impact on us and make us the kind of people who are more interested in having rather than giving. So the message is, are we givers or are we takers? And that's a fairly interesting message for us. Obviously the homily goes much more than just those few words, but it's a question for us to look at. I can remember somebody saying that they'd never seen a removal van following a hearse to the graveside. Reminded to us that, yes, we can't take it with us, so how do we use it for the good of others here on earth? Come back and hear the rest of the homily next Sunday or on podcast through Podomatic. Both are readily available and both will be up on my YouTube and or Twitter pages and or Facebook pages within the next few days. So check it out and find out what it is that we're doing in this weekend's message, Preparing for the Kingdom. Take care, and I'll see you next time on my Wednesday Rambling.